girl Fiona. I'm with Finding Raleigh, Fister Bundy here at Immortal Rose Tattoo in rare form because why? My man Sketch Gamble got some work he needs to finish. What up, Sketch? My people. This is family right here.
My name is Sketch Gamble. I'm a tattoo artist, painter, and illustrator. I've been an artist my entire life. My mother first put me on the path of being a full-time artist as far as 2007, my freshman year of high school. I was selling freelance graphic design pretty much, pamphlets, flyers, church programs, things like that nature for a small organization. And then it graduated to me selling my sketches in school. And I was drawing on people for $20 and in pen. It would wash off the next day, they come back, give it again. It wasn't until one of my friends got one of my tattoos, or one of my designs tattooed on him. And he came back the next day, I saw it and instantly fell in love with it. Ever since then, I've been devoted to learning as much as I can about tattooing.
Tell me more about the gallery. Tell us what's going on here with the artwork. What are we seeing here?
So basically what you're seeing is the beginning of the seed planting that everyone can be an artist. And that's really what the main focus is. I have 3 different artists here. This artist is named Justin.
I have his pieces also. And Earth Essentials too. Yeah.
These are my works.
Which are pretty signature pieces when it comes to you.
Appreciate it. Like I said before, I like to focus on the characters. Young children, to be able to spark the flame in the young breeding, budding minds.
Yes.
So that whenever they become adults, they keep that. Hold on to what makes you happy, pretty much. I feel like a lot of adults forget that. Paintings, I would say I go for more of an illustrative feel. I like to balance the feeling of cosmic mixed with illustration. Okay. So I like to show a lot of like black illustrations because I feel like a lot of us don't get a lot of representation in areas like that. Right. And I feel like in those types of areas, you connect to children. So then those children will grow up to be the adults that are looking back like I had this to look back on, the same way we look at cartoons like Hey Arnold, but we really look at Gerald, or we look at Little Bill, or we look at Spence that was in Recess, or things like that. So that representation of us in a child form to then grow up to be the full-fledged, fully functional adult and not the statistical black guy, angry black guy that's out there.
Yeah, we do.
And then this is another artist named Greg Heavy. He is a tattoo artist I used to work with back in the day.
I can see his signature. I can see his signature.
He's definitely got a style.
Exactly. Let's walk through here. I can see all of that. It looks good. So you're making way not just for yourself, but for others.
Yes.
But you, aside from the signature of your characters, your signature is pa.
Yes.
The rose.
The rose.
And we know you love the rose because of what? The immortality of life and how tattoos live on. Give that explanation. Explain the rose. What is the infatuation with your rose?
The infatuation with the rose is, my mother always told me she wanted her roses before she died.
That's right.
So
give me my flowers while I'm living.
Every day.
Give me my flowers while I'm alive.
That on top of Tupac's his poem, The Rose That Grew from Concrete.
Yes, that's so deep.
The concept of a rose actually breaking through concrete in order to stand and make a staple that I'm here, I'm alive.
Exactly, that's strength.
And I think that's what the foundation of Immortal Rose is. Breaking through barriers and making a step to say, people are here. There's more to it than what you see. As far as my tattooing, I try to focus on a lot of what's not being done. And my own personal style and how that kind of reflects into what the need is. And a lot of what I feel in tattooing, the need is a mindset. The mindset being, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Meaning, for the longest, everyone thought color work doesn't work on dark skin.
Right.
Completely does though. It's all about a process and a technique. The consistency and the patience that comes from applying that technique is really what gets the message across. That color, if anything, it has more contrast on our skin. The colors pop even more. Just as long as the client takes care of it, it's definitely a two-way street. As soon as you walk out the door, it's all on you.
Right.
And it is more to it than what we can see here, because look over here. This is family back here hiding. So we know behind every strong black man is a strong black woman. Whole family. Hey, Buddha. Introduce yourself, sister. Tell the family.
My name is Mina, and I am co-owner of Immortal Tattoo and Art Gallery, as well as owner of Revelize Vintage.
Another artiste. What is it that we can look here and see that we know this is Mina? Oh, look. Tell us, Mina, what we have going on here. Look at, do y'all see these pieces? When two artists get together, right?
Yes. He has definitely been able to bring Revelize Vintage to life. She is Rebel Rain. She stands for every young girl that just wants to be herself. That has been told to be put into a box and to kind of conform to the normality of everything, and she just wants to be her. So she stays incognito with a bandana on her face, from New York, Queens, Hollis, 195.
Woo, woo, woo! To first place! Rochdale Village!
Yes. And I always had an infatuation with the warrior side of it. He has made her into a reality that I can foresee happening. But yes, us being able to bring these businesses together, we definitely want to uplift the community. Revelize Ventures does a whole bunch of custom things for other small businesses locally, and we're just hoping to set the foundation to continue to help the community grow.
Immortal Rose Tattoo and Art Gallery. It pretty much got started from me falling in love with the immortality of tattooing. I feel like it's an immortal art form. You can, as soon as you put a tattoo on somebody, even if you cover it up, that original tattoo is still there. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. Along with my mother always told me when I was a kid that she wanted her roses before she dies. She's still alive, but when I was a kid, I used to draw her roses because I didn't have money when I was a kid to keep buying her roses. Right. So I'm drawing her a rose every day, and over time she started critiquing them. And with the progression of time and me doing it over and over again, I started to get better and better at drawing roses. And when she told me that if I was serious about tattooing, that she would be my first client whenever I got into a shop, I got into a shop and she was my very first client. Right. And she got a rose on her shoulder. So my tattoo shop would be Immortal Rose Tattoo and Art Gallery.
Obviously, keep it in the family as well. Who is this young man?
This is Gabriel, aka Buddha. He is the newest addition to our lovely family. We also have our little Layla that is not here, but she is 7, and then the
big ups to Layla.
Big bro Mario over there.
Do y'all see? 11. Do y'all see something here? Let's come here, Mario. I'm standing right here. Can we see an inspiration? That's what I'm talking about. So we got.
At first, being a black guy getting a tattoo at the time that I was getting in, you didn't see a lot of us. And it was a lot harder to learn how to tattoo than it is now. You just go on Facebook and find a tutorial on tattooing now. And then you had to either know somebody in the shop or you were self-taught. And I kind of did both. I made sure that I knew people in tattoo shops by just going in and essentially not leaving. Every day, I remember there was a shop in Cary. I went in every single day for almost 2 years. Still never got an apprenticeship. Until years later, they were offering me a job. So if you have the discipline to keep going, then it definitely pays off. but there were a lot of setbacks and a lot of hurdles that I had to get across as far as me making my own lane in tattooing and in the art field.
In terms of like, okay, when you were saying what you put into your art, is there anything spiritual about what you're doing?
Oh yeah.
What would be the spiritual side to what you as far as tattooing?
Well, if you start from the physical to then get to a spiritual, as soon as I open the body, that's energy coming out. That's energy going in. So whenever I'm tattooing somebody, I have to be completely clear mind. Once I open your skin, I gotta make sure I'm not putting anything that I'm dealing with onto you. I gotta also make sure that I'm strong enough and level-headed to be able to take whatever you're releasing from your tattoo appointment or from your session.
Right.
A lot of times whenever I'm tattooing, we have, I like to talk to my clients. If you wanna chill and be completely silent, headphones in, that's perfectly fine. I'm with you, I'll put mine in and we'll vibe.
Right.
If not, we have deep conversations. A lot of them are spiritual, and just the fact of what this tattoo means to the person, why they're getting it,
Right.
and then those explanations and those answers develop into a higher conversation of almost finding out people's purpose. I know a lot of people get tattooed and they say, oh, I wish I could draw, or I wish I was an artist, or I wish I was creative. Everyone's an artist, everyone's creative, and everyone can draw. This is whether or not you're willing to take the time and effort to get better at it and not compare yourself to the next person. Because in that session, they're comparing their way of doing it to my way of doing it, but I've been doing this my entire life.
Right.
So in that aspect, it's being patient with yourself. And that's the seed that I want to plant, is that basically planting that seed for an immortal rose to sit with people and grow. And then they end up seeing, once they're fully bloomed, they see exactly what their art is. They see exactly what their purpose in life is and how they're supposed to connect to other people.
Right.
And inside here we have Immortal Rose. So when people come in here, you see family, you see legacy, you see passion, you see people doing what they want to do and are happy doing in their elements. That means you're going to get product and service that reflects that. I do not like unnecessary pain, but yet, you see this? I'm in prep work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all get a glimpse, just a glimpse of what I'm willing to undergo to say that I have a piece of sketch with me as well. But Wake County, Raleigh has a piece of sketch. What did you do downtown?
Right.
Yeah, tell us about that.
I designed a mural for the North Carolina census. It was on the historic Raleigh bus depot. It was up there for about 2 to 3 months. And it was a piece of a father and his son. And showing that the slogan was "We count." And as far as the black community, I feel like that was a representation of showing a black father and his son as we count. And black fathers being there, fathers in general being there for their kids. And I felt like that representation was where I wanted to take it. And inspired by this one right here.
And it was
Almost a reflection. I think if I could put it in a way of getting the person to really think about what they would get, is to look at yourself in the mirror and then ask yourself, what am I getting tattooed? Why am I getting tattooed? And then whenever you come up with that idea, ask it again. You know?
Right.
And then whenever you're thinking of, well, what do I do in this area? Well, what are you getting in that area? Why are you getting something in that area? A lot of times people get tattoos for family members, like kids or things like that, and they'll say, I want a representation of my daughter, or I want a representation of my son. And they go for somewhat generic things, you know, things that just represent a boy or things that represent a girl.
Right.
But whenever I'm in the consultation part of the tattooing process, it's more so, what about your son sticks out to you? what about your daughter is the thing that you remember, or what is their favorite thing to do right now? Because you're getting a tattoo of them now, so you want to remember something about them now. If you wanted something later, you get it later, but it will be a representation of them older. So a lot of times I like to get people to live in the moment, and then have that moment, or make sure that moment lasts for the rest of their life. Because ultimately, you can get the tattoo now, but it's whether or not you're happy with it 10 years from now that really counts.
We known each other now. Since what?
Since 2017.
17. Matter of fact,
Feels like a long before that though.
my first and only tattoo up until today.
Yeah.
And this is 2022, so 5 years. It has seemed like a.
Wow.
I know, right? But you know what, Sketch? You like an imprint in my family. So you sketch me, 2 of my sisters, my daughter, my son, my niece, my ex. Like you tatted the whole family, and on top of that, you did the mural in my shop at Earth Essentials.
Yes.
And everyone loves that mural. So you're just imprinted in my life right now. And that, what does that mean? That means you family forever?
That means, yeah, we family. That's what that means.
That's what that means.
SketchGamble.com. You can also email sketchgambletattoos@gmail.com.
Now, how do you spell that?
SKETCHGAMBLE tattoos@gmail.com. Everything is through the website. Phone for the shop is 919-322-5448. If you're going for tattoos, artwork, sketchgamble.com. If you're going for clothing or anything like that, you can also get to it through sketchgamble.com or rebelizevintage.com.